Namaskaram, my dear friends, I'm back again. Today I am going to talk about the miracles of grace. So I've categorized the miracles of grace that I have experienced into 3 categories. First is what I ask, I have received. Next one is slowing me down or softening me down. And third one is asking for my Guru's grace that has never failed to descend on me. So let's go back to number 1, asking, and then what I ask, I receive. I think I have shared this story before, that there are so many things that happen where I just thought about something or I ask, well, I don't really ask for it, but I think of acquiring something and things don't turn out in my favor, where I do what I need to do and try to get it, like either try and purchase something or try to look for something and I don't get it. But somehow if I let it go for a while, something ends up on my lap that I had wished for. So interestingly, there was a time where I was actually trying to buy a Yeti cooler because we were gonna go on a road trip, and I've looked at websites and the Yeti cooler was so expensive, so I changed into something else, a cheaper cooler, and then I tried to look for it online. I found it and I was ready to buy it. However, because we were going to leave the next day, it wasn't gonna be delivered in time, so I'm like, you know what, I'll just use my fabric cooler. And that same day, when I decided that I was going to use my fabric cooler, I had also ordered a 5-pound bag of chocolate nibs, 100% chocolate nibs. Nibs. And then when it arrived, to my surprise, it arrived in a cooler. And I was so excited because though it may not be a Yeti cooler that I would take to my trip, it was a better cooler than the fabric cooler that I have. And in one of my drawers, there I have it, a sticker that says Yeti. And so my daughter calls it the Yeti cooler. I'll show you a picture. Another story too is, a few months ago I was planning on getting a bike because my daughter is in a stage right now where she's learning to ride a bike. So Brian and I decided to get a bike for ourselves too. I was trying to look online. I was just wanting to get a used bike, and there was one that I found used, really great condition. However, it was a little bit far away, so we asked Brant's dad, because it was around in this area, if he could look at the bike and check out the bike if it was good to be purchased. So I contacted the woman like, hey, you know, the father-in-law is gonna go see you and check out the bike. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm actually moving soon, like tomorrow, so I might not be able to show you the bike. And then I said, okay, I guess it's fine. And so when Brant's dad came to visit, he actually has a bike in his storage that he has in storage for forever. And he said, well, since you guys want a bike, here, you can have mine. That's not necessarily the bike that I wanted, but then again, I have a bike on my lap. Another story was I wanted an immersion blender. You know, we researched the type of immersion blender that we're probably going to get. And then this time it was Brian's mom that was gonna come. And she asked us, oh, what do you guys want? When I come visit, you guys need anything that's from my home, blah, 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 blah. And then I told her that, oh, we're in the market to buy an immersion blender. Do you have one that you can lend us? Because at least this way we're gonna test it and see if we actually need an immersion blender. And then she said, of course I have one. I'm gonna bring it there so you guys could use it. I'm like, okay, perfect. And so we used it. It was actually really great. And then before she had left, she said, well, you guys can have my immersion blender. Again, the immersion blender on our laps. This is just really interesting because I think the grace has aligned, or that I am probably in tune of grace, where I just think of something and somehow they happen. There's still a lot of things that I want, big things that I want that don't happen. But just noticing the small things that actually happen to my favor is actually very wonderful to experience. And in like a macro scale of things, I remember growing up, I had a vision board and it had a lot of things that I wanted to do, like travel the world, have a house, have a garden. And looking back, all of those pictures that I have on my vision board, like 99% of them actually happened. And it's just interesting, it's so wonderful how the thought can be so powerful that somehow grace actually descends on you and make things happen. Next category is slowing down or softening down. Brent has always told me that sometimes my brain works this way. That I need to get things done, that I need to clean, that everything needs to be organized and in order for me to be okay. Maybe a little bit of an OCD. And this is not necessarily the first time he's pointed it out, nor I have noticed this about myself. So I kind of thought that, I really need to address this issue about me, of needing to slow down, calm down, and just soften my heart to accept things just the way they are. And now I have learned to be okay with unfinished dishes, floors not swept, the shoe rack unorganized. I don't need to fix the bed no matter what. But when things don't happen and they're chaotic, and I have done my best to actually do something about it, but somehow just didn't happen because a shortage of time or other priorities, and I let it go, I really find that a slower version of me, a softer version of me, is a happier version of me. Just accepting things just the way they are is really liberating. There's a sense of letting go that somehow is like a burden off my shoulder. There's no tension inside. I feel more joyful. And there's some sense of appreciation, more appreciation of life, appreciation of the chaos that transitions into organization and chaos again in organizations. It's like a cycle. I think me having to slow down allows me to see that without chaos, there is no order, and without order, there is no chaos. It's really wonderful. Really wonderful. Actually, the bigger issue I had before was if my sadhana was cut short or my sadhana was not the way I wanted it to be, my day gets ruined. Like I would be pissy during the day, or I would be not so nice because I really want my sadhana to be a certain way. And I really felt like that affected my family, it affected Brand, it affected my daughter. So I knew that was a wake-up call, that I had to do something about it. And now how I see sadhana, I just have to make sure that when I wake up, I'll do my sadhana. Tomorrow, if sadhana doesn't happen, it's okay. But when I wake up, I have to make sure I do my sadhana. Not being too hard on myself, not being too strict, but just allowing sadhana to happen within me too. And that way I sense a deeper appreciation of what sadhana has been able to do for me. And the fact that I am able to do sadhana is just so much, there's just so much grace in it, so much blessing in it. And I always think how fortunate I am to be able to do my sadhana today. The third is the grace that I asked from my guru. I was not a believer in the past. Before, I have learned, I have experienced Sadhguru, like a lot of us are, very skeptical, questioning. But now that I don't necessarily say faith, I would say experience, now that I have experienced Sadhguru. In moments where I need help, in moments where I am confused, I am lost, I call out to our Guru and I just ask for his help, ask for his guidance, ask for him to let me see through what's going on at that moment when I needed him. And it's like my emergency call, Sadhguru, or it's like my panic button. And I have called out to Sadhguru so many times that I have noticed its effect on me is very, very instant. My relationship with Brand has improved. My relationship with my daughter has improved. I remember that one moment when I lost my car keys and I really didn't find it at that moment. I called out to him. I was still lost and confused because I couldn't find the car keys. But I was calm when I called out to Sadhguru, and a sense of peace that it was going to be okay happened within me. That moment when my car's brake system did not work and we were about to be in the middle of the road, calling out Sadhguru was important, and of course using the emergency brake. But my point is, when it's a crossroad and everything's so fast and I don't know what to do, I'm lost or confused, the grace of the Guru has never failed me. And I appreciate, and I deeply, deeply appreciate our Guru for always being available, his grace being available when we need it the most. Sadhguru. And because of all of this grace that I have experienced in my life in different forms, it's easier to remember that grace is all around during happy moments, sad moments, when the sky is so beautiful, when you see the full moon, the sunsets, the sunrise, during happy moments, and when I'm surrounded by the beauty of the world, the grace just embraces me. And I hope you guys feel the same, and I hope you guys can feel it too. Namaskaram. So that's it, you guys. Do tell me your experience of grace, its forms, its ways. It's oh so graceful dawning, descending on your lap. Do share how it feels, for I always love your guys' comments, and I love reading them and replying to them. And until next time, you guys, to more sharings. Bye. Mwah.